Hi, everyone. Welcome to STEAM. This is our first go at this class in collaboration with Long Island Science Center. My name is Kathleen Russick. I represent East End Arts. I'm the education director here.
Hi, and I'm Judy Ishbitrin. I'm the education director and one of the lead educators at the Long Island Science Center.
So today we're going to be looking at Vincent van Gogh as the artist, and specifically his piece Starry Night, and how it contrasts to the study of the universe,
which I will be kind of working with the students, learning about the universe, and we'll be discussing different things about the universe, what makes up the universe, and we're going to take the two subjects and put them together, the art and the science.
Okay, so what we're going to do is start with Vincent, and then we will segue into the universe. And then at the end of the class, we're going to do a project that sort of integrates what you learn about the universe into a very creative project that we're going to do on black construction paper with pastels and white paint. So let's take it from the top. Let's look first at our painting, Starry Night. Okay, so this is Vincent van Gogh's painting, Starry Night. And I can give you a little bit of information about Vincent. We'll just leave Starry Night up while I talk.
Yes, perfect.
Okay. Vincent van Gogh was born in the Netherlands. His father and grandfather were both ministers. And he grew up really loving to draw, but ended up moving to London and becoming a teacher, and followed in the footsteps of both his father and grandfather and became a minister. So as he progressed during that time in London, he realized that he really did love art, and at the age of 27 decided to devote his entire life to art. He had quite a big family, but he was closest to his brother Theo, who was an art dealer in Paris. And Theo encouraged him to proceed with his art and eventually move to Paris as well. Theo tried to sell some of Vincent's art and encourage him, but at that time, artists really had a difficult time selling their pieces, especially when you're breaking through in different styles. His style or movement that he represented was the post-impressionists. So as he eventually moved to the south of France, he started to pick up all of the light and beauty and colors that were, shown in the nature and landscapes and the different clubs and street lights of Paris itself and the south of France. Really started picking up a lot of colors in his pieces. So during all this time, and because none of his art was really selling, he developed a lot of depression and did not take very good care of himself, and ended up in the hospital at the age of about 35 or 36. During this time in the hospital is when he actually painted the Starry Night. So Starry Night to him represented an ability to paint on the canvas from imagination. He thought that this would add more value to his pieces. So what he said was, we may succeed in creating a more exciting and comforting nature than we can discern with a single glimpse of reality through your imagination. Okay, Starry Night as a painting itself was a fulfillment of Van Gogh's wish to paint from memory, and this could explain his greater emotional impact of his work in comparison to others that he produced at this time. So different things that he wanted to express was, number one, painting from imagination, and this was a very sort of a movement away from what was going on in the impressionistic post-impressionistic time. He also felt that night was much more alive than day. And this particular painting that he painted, well, they said that he may have stayed up 3 days in a row painting this piece. He also, the way that he put paint down on canvas was very thick, so his paintings generally took quite a long time to dry, and that's why it has that texture and feel to it. So another thing that he always said was looking up at the stars always made him dream. So this is a nice segue into learning about the universe, because I know that everyone has probably had that feeling of looking up at the sky and, you know, dreaming of really what is up there, what it's all about. So we're going to take his unbelievable imaginative view of the universe and then now talk about what the universe really is. So hi, I'm back. Hi, everyone. So now we're going to go and talk with Judy, and Judy's going to give you a little insight on the universe. And then after we're all done, you can, you know, maybe send us some questions or post some questions in the underneath in the posts, and we can get back to you with some answers. Okay. Hi, Judy.
All right, so hello everyone. So I'm going to take my mask off right now. So yeah, now we're going to take a look and we're going to talk a little bit about what the actual science is. So the universe, we talk about the universe and what is the actual universe. I'm going to kind of take a look. I'm going to share my screen with you so that you can see my images here. Right, so my name is Miss Judy and I'm from the Long Island Science Center. And now we're going to kind of incorporate the science behind this amazing artistic creation of the night sky or the universe, right? So when we talk about the universe and what the universe is made up of, we know that the universe consists of planets and stars and any sort of matter and energy that is within our atmosphere. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at some of those things, right? So when we talk about planets, of course, we understand that we are living on a planet, the planet Earth. And one thing that we know about our planet is that when we look at some satellite images of our planet, it is very distinct, right? It is the third planet from the sun. We know that when we visibly see the images of our Earth, it is this bluish green color. And we know that's because the Earth is covered or made up of a lot of water. So it is very distinct. It allows for us to be able to sustain life here. And then as we kind of go on from our Earth to look at other things within our universe, we know that there are stars in our universe. Now, this is our sun, and our sun is a star. Sometimes students might say that, you know, the sun is a planet, so they'll kind of think that it's a planet, but it isn't. It's actually a star. And when we look at our sun is a medium kind of temperature star. So we have stars that are much hotter than the sun. We have stars that are cooler than the sun. And those hotter stars are blue in color, which kind of seems a little confusing when we relate blue with coolness and red with heat. So our sun is the star at the center of our universe. And we know that it is hot plasma, right? So it's a ball of, you know, a hot ball of plasma. As we continue to look at some of the things that are within our universe, we know that the Earth has the only natural satellite, the moon. And when we look at the appearance of the moon, we're always able to see the same side of the moon, right? We're looking at the near side of the moon versus the far side of the moon. As we study the moon, we know that the moon is about 4.6 billion years old, and it is the 5th largest satellite in the solar system. And when we're looking at the images of how the moon appears, we can see some kind of shaded areas, and those areas are craters. Those little indentations we call craters, right? We believe that I've heard scientists believe that meteors and things that kind of affect the surface of the moon is what gives it that appearance. As we study the moon a little further, we know that there was actually in 1969, we were able to travel to the moon. We looked at the surface of the moon. So that was studied as well. And we can see some of these larger moon craters, right? And the largest one is about 1,500 miles wide. And it has a very distinct look, our moon, that surface that we look at. As you continue to look at the moon, and we know that the moon is constantly changing, right? We look at this these phases, we call them, of the moon. And these phases occur over about a month, about 29 days. So we're looking at these, we look up at the night sky and we can see the moon looking differently at different times of the month. And actually before we would call them months, these times were called moons. So rather than saying like right now we're in the month of October, it was called a moon, which is really interesting. And of course, we know why the moon appears differently at different times of the month. It has to do with the relationship between the earth, the sun, and the moon, because the moon does not have its own light. But the ancient Egyptians actually came up with their own kind of explanation, which was that there was a giant pig, a moon was born every month, and a giant pig took bites out of the moon, which of course I love to tell my students because it's super silly, but of course, you know, we're able to have the technology today to understand why the moon appears differently at different times of the month. So these are your moon phases, and that's what the moon will appear to look like at different times of the month. And then of course, here is an image of our moon landing, or the ability to study the moon in person, right? To be able to land on the moon in 1969. Our solar eclipse here. So when we see these images of a solar eclipse, and I know we had one a few years ago where we were able to kind of have a big to-do where everyone was kind of going out to explore or visually get a glimpse of with some special glasses, with the help of special glasses, to see the solar eclipse in person. A total solar eclipse only happens once every few years, but this occurs when the sun, the moon, and the earth are aligned. And this is what you'll see. There's like a partial glow that you'll see around. There's also a lunar eclipse where they align in the earth, the moon, and the sun. Now it's in between. This is the view that we get from Earth. We also have some star clusters, and these are very large groups of stars. When we look at star clusters, we can actually see sometimes in the imaging that we'll get, the satellite imaging, we'll able to see those different temperature stars up in the night sky, the blue stars, the yellow-white stars like our sun, and other images. And of course, galaxies, right? Our galaxy is the Milky Way galaxy, and our galaxy is a spiral galaxy, and it is about 13 billion years old. And we have, you know, so many different galaxies in the universe that there are trillions of galaxies. Then these galaxies all have their own solar systems and stars and dust. And this happens to be the galaxy that our solar system is a part of. And so now that you know a little bit about the science behind our universe, let's go ahead and work on a project that will kind of take this knowledge now that you have of the universe, the knowledge that you have about this particular artist, and let's create a work of art for you to actually be able to do on your own and enjoy.
Okay, so what we're going to do, most of Van Gogh's works dealt with a lot of swirling colors. So this is a really fun way, very simple, to get very expressive with swirling colors and, you know, using your imagination of what you think that the universe is. Now, I like to work on a black piece of paper, but any dark piece of paper will do, and it doesn't have to be this big. It could be 8.5 by 11. You can use a blue or a red. I mean, the darker the better. A purple or a blue would probably be best, black, purple, or blue for this night scene. So you take your chalk pastel, go start with a yellow, and you just dip it into the white paint. So this is just a white temper paint. So, and then you just go crazy. So we're gonna start maybe with a swirly, like sun thing here. And you can just keep dipping. To get some nice texture. Okay, just put that on the side. So now around the sun, we're going to use our imagination because that was what Van Gogh was all about, and we like to be very imaginative. So we're going to just do some little bits and things all around, all different colors. You know, red. And I think when we would do a nice, beautiful blue earth, maybe right here, sort of on the side. So this is not going to be realistic. So, but you can make it more on a realistic basis if you like. So we're going to do some swirls on the earth here. And don't worry if you make droppy messes, because it's all about being fun and creative. So then, of course, we need some green. And this is an old set of pastels. You want to use more of you don't want to use your very fancy pastel. You want to use your older set, because though you can wash the paint off afterwards, you know, it does get a little messy. So, oops. What else? It's always a good little bit of terracotta. It goes to the earth, right? The earth. So I'm going to put some more maybe stars. Do some bright little stars like that. It really does depict how he felt, that night is much more alive than day. And looking at the stars and up in the sky always made him feel like he was dreaming. So I hope that you join us. Right, we'll do a little promo. So, here. Alright, so I hope that you join us at East End Arts. Our classes will be Wednesdays. We have classes for all age groups at different times during Wednesdays. You can check us out on eastendarts.org on our website, or even Long Island Science Center. On their website, you have links to Zoom, or you can come in class and do this in person. We'll have a different theme and a different project and a different artist for each. Some will be a little bit more art, some will be a little bit more science. We're really going to mix it up, and if you have any ideas or some specific things that you're interested in working on, please reach out and put it in, the comments, and let us know what you'd like to work with. Hopefully your picture can upload it in my picture.
Beautiful. I was just thinking I should be doing it too. But yeah, and with some of the science lessons incorporated with the topics, we're going to do a little bit of experimenting today. You really want to focus on your creative interpretation of the Van Gogh's Starry Night. So in some other classes, we'll be doing some experimenting together. So today you got the knowledge and you were able to kind of get creative with your painting and your artwork, but then we're going to do some experimenting as well.
Okay. So get in touch with us. You can email education@eastendarts.org. You can give us a call at 631-369-2171, or you can touch base with Judy
at sciencecenterli.org, and you can give us a call at the office as well at 631-849-6503.
Okay, so we hope to see you next Wednesday. That's the 14th. That's coming up in 2 days. And we'd love to see more people. If you're not comfortable coming in class, we do have Zoom. And if you come in class, we have 6 feet distancing. As you see, this is a huge space, and we have ventilation and the doors open and masks on, and we're ready to play and learn and have fun. Okay, so thanks a lot for joining us.
Thank you.
And you had fun, and we hope to see you soon. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.